Don't remember to
Swivelly
do
door,
it.
swivelly chair, swivelly chair, swivelly chair, swivelly chair, swivel chair, swivel chair.
Nasty girl, scandalous, insatiable, a real freak. Freaky girls really turn me on.
Hello. G'day.
Hello. Good to see
Welcome
you.
to Feral Friends.
Welcome back.
We're back. We had a little mid-season
Hiatus.
hiatus last week, just like on Grey's Anatomy.
Well, it was bank holiday weekend and
I know.
it started early.
Well, this was the holiday for the workers, so
Yes, exactly.
workers' rights.
Yeah, it's Is that? Oh, I didn't realize.
Yeah, that's what May Day, the May Day holiday is for work.
I thought it was just for maypole dancers, just to have fun. No. Okay.
Maypole dancing and fun don't go together in the same.
Yeah. Well, look, they look like they're having a wild time, so that's their business.
I don't know. I think they're just lying to themselves. Basically.
Yeah, probably. For them, it's fun.
Yeah. If you're from like Gloucestershire, it's fun.
Ooh,
how can I just say it's May the 5th and I have the heating on in every room.
Oh, it's such a nice day here. The sun's been shining. I was really annoyed because I had to work. So it was just every moment I just ran out on the terrace and sat there and was like, give me sun, absorb it whilst we can. But yeah.
To soften my sorrow that it's cold here and
what have you done?
It's warm there. At least you guys now have a horrible new right-wing government.
I know.
Yay!
Well, it's not new.
Well, no, but she's teaming up now with
Vox.
with Nazis, basically. So
yeah, pretty much. They're scumbags. So that's depressing. It was funny because, well, it wasn't funny. They were actually, several of them had tents parked up by the station in my house. And at one point I came out just to... Yeah, so they had one.
Vox
so they
are like the Nazi, BNP, UKIP, AFD.
Yeah, so they popped up and they were there, and we did contemplate whether or not it would be a bad thing to throw eggs at them from the terrace.
I mean, it would have been bad in a good way.
Yeah, we didn't. Just to note, we didn't. But when I came out, it was quite funny because notably I was like the only black person on the street. And as I'm going across the supermarket, it's like, don't want to give me a leaflet? Don't want to explain to me what your reasoning is, what you're talking about? Dickheads. Such dickheads. Oh my God. And they all just look so disgusting and sad and just miserable, like yeasty.
Yeah.
like an infection. Yeah.
There's not enough canister in all the world, I tell you,
to get rid of that.
Right. Yeah. Well, gross. I'm not going to say, did you see the Oscars? Because obviously we know that we've established now that none of us.
Did I see the Oscars?
Watch the ceremony, but did you see the fashions?
A little. Yes.
I was kind of underwhelmed.
Yeah. Same. I was just sort of like,
I don't know whether that was like a deliberate thing because obviously of like Corona, maybe they were trying to be a bit more muted or something, but I was kind of like,
make more of an effort because people have been waiting.
I want to see pretty beautiful gowns.
Yeah, people look nice, but nothing. I was like,
really
oh
lovely.
My God. I wasn't wild about that dress. I felt
really
like it looked, I like the color and she carried it off very well. She always looks great and everything.
There were a lot of like,
but it just looked a little cheap. It was like bandeau, Gap, and then the dress. And it was like,
yeah. I guess Carey Mulligan looked nice, but that dress would look nicer on dark skin, brown skin.
Look, she can do what she wants.
But she looked gorgeous. I love her. Yeah. But otherwise, I was kind of like, meow. I think the best
underwhelmed.
I think the best dressed person there, because #degender fashion, was Coleman Domingo. Did you see him in his neon pink suit? You know how Lil Nas X wore that thing to the Grammys a few years ago, but it was like, I don't know if it was also Versace, but it was espectacular.
Espectacular.
I was really, yeah. He's a gay too. He was a black gay. So he was repping for the black.
So you were like, I've been inspired. So have you now got a pink suit? Ordered one.
Although I have been wearing pink since before metrosexual.
Well, it was originally a man's color originally. Yes, it's true.
Because it's strong.
Oh my God, also, just so in case I start drooling, it's not just because I'm out of control. I feel like my one leftover wisdom tooth.
No, wisdom
tooth. No, no, not that dried husk. No, my one leftover
I thought
wisdom
you'd had them all
tooth.
taken out.
No, because remember I got attacked by my dentist.
Well, we're going to be talking
and then
about
I had the nice dentist. Yeah, so this is a nice little thing into it. So I feel like it's decided to get upset. So I'm just gonna wait it out today and see what happens. Hopefully it will calm down. Maybe take some pills, have some wine.
Anything self-medicate. Wisdom teeth makes me feel very, very uncomfortable. I've got all 4 of mine because I'm so wise.
Well, no, luckily I've found a dentist now who is amazing. Okay. But it's a little scary here. But anywho's,
did you see the RuPaul final? Have you been watching season 15?
No, I haven't seen any of it. I know you're traumatized.
I don't really know what to say.
I've been doing things. I've been going out.
Oh, well, aren't you lucky?
Yes, I am.
I haven't. Well, you know who Simone is, right? Simone, the Ebony Enchantress.
Yeah.
Deserving winner. Well, I know. I feel like you didn't see it.
It's fine. I'm still going to watch it. You make me watch it when we meet up anyway, so it's fine.
You don't have a choice. Well, yeah, she was a well-deserved winner. She is just it's to the skin. She claims she only uses I'm calling her a liar, but like she says she only uses baby oil.
Live.
That is like it's just like molasses.
Might start trying that, slip and sliding around the place.
I'm like, really? Baby oil? I've used baby oil on my skin before and it never looks like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, it looks good, but it's never like sheeny, shiny, slip and slide, caramel, magnum deliciousness.
Well, good for her. So she won.
She won $100,000.
Was it a good final?
It was. I mean, to my mind, it was a shutdown. Simone won in my mind from the moment she walked into the workroom in the Polaroid dress made of selfies and Polaroids just of her. That was it was done. But yeah, no, it was a good final. The lip syncs were good. The fashions were good, apart from Candy Muse and Rosé, go away. But yeah, it was great. RuPaul did a little dance at the beginning, a little shimmy. Well, as much as she ever dances, it was like
literally.
It was just that.
A little.
But no, it was great. A good time was had by all. So I'm very excited. I'm also very excited because I've been acquainting myself with this year's Eurovision entries because it's now in 2 weeks.
Oh, right. I need to mention that to Dommy, actually. I'm sure he's already got himself acquainted. He's just waiting for the right moment to start slipping them out and playing them around the house.
I need to message him to talk about how we feel.
See who you think.
I'm liking Israel. I have to say it's very good. It's a very strong entry. They've got a black person.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Shut the front door.
That's one of them like Ethiopian Jews, isn't it? They've got a lot of them over there, haven't they? Israel's really good. Loving Cyprus. Even the UK. I mean, not that we're ever.
What's the UK's entry? Is it the same people from last year?
A lot of them are recycled this year.
And so it's the UK one from last year.
Yeah, it's the UK artist, but with a new song.
Okay.
It's actually, I mean, it's okay.
Look, we could come out with a proper banger and they'd still be like, no, not to you.
Well, no,
not happening.
Jealous. Europeans are so jealous of us because we have everything
also,
right.
Do you know what? It wouldn't be right if we did win. After what we've done. After what we've done.
But music transcends politics.
Shut up.
Eurovision is about bringing Europe together through song.
Yeah, they will never allow it. Absolutely not. That's never going to happen.
That ship has sailed. And
we had trouble before.
Right.
Now it's dead in the water.
Well, no, we didn't. We were like the winningest country we've got like 4 or 5 wins over the course of the whole thing.
Really?
And yeah, I mean, we've been overtaken now. I think like Ireland and Sweden have more wins, but we initially were the Eurovision masters of the universe. But we're not of the Eurovision verse, but now we're not. No. But anyway, I'm very excited. I don't know if I'm going to be able to have a party this year because of restrictions, but what's
going on with that? Where have you moved to? Are they moving forward now? Things opening up a bit? Like you can go to places.
They're really fasting up. They're really speeding up the vaccinations now. So the infection rates are going down rapidly, which is good.
When do you get yours?
I don't know because I went to the doctor and I'm on the list. And now since Monday, my the group I'm in, like asthmatics, is up for being vaccinated. So I just have to.
So lucky.
I just have to wait. Basically, I'm hoping
you and
not
your
too
weak
much longer.
lungs.
I know. And I've got high blood pressure too. So hopefully not too much longer because I'm bored now and I want to do stuff and go places. So
yeah, well, here it's just nuts. No one said anything to anyone about our age group. Although in the UK, have you or I?
Don't know, it's just very sexy.
But no, so in the UK they've started calling people in our age group to go and get vaccines. So it would be tempted to go, although the PCR tests in itself are just ridiculous.
It's like 100.
Yeah, but you have to do like Isabella, she spent about 600 quid last time. Jeez. Just on PCR tests.
You know.
I'd rather spend that on a fun holiday.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I've got nothing to spend it on here. Everything's shut. I'll just order takeaway. It's fine. That's what I do anyway. Well, it's time for I don't know what this is weighing really heavy on my heart right now, but it is time for what have the Tories done now?
Dun dun dun. What have those cheeky bastards done?
We should call it what haven't the Tories done?
What haven't they done? They haven't done anything nice, that's for sure.
So it's like a double-pronged, like double penetration this week.
Nice.
Boris's curtains, first up. Have you seen the pictures of his
absolutely
flat?
Revolting.
I'm like, it's like a fucking fever dream bad trip.
What is that? I thought it was a joke when I first saw the images. I thought someone was taking the piss.
So many people have said to me like, no, it's a meme. It's not.
That's what I thought it was.
That's what it looks like.
Are you sure?
Yep. Those are the pictures. Those are the official pictures they released.
Wow.
And it's like, so the scandal is basically not that they had this done, because if you've got the money, go right ahead with your disgusting taste. But the problem is that Boris is saying now, I've paid for it, right? But the problem is he won't say who paid for it initially, because initially he didn't lay out the cash up front. Someone else paid and he has now paid them back. But he won't say who the person is who initially paid.
And how much did he pay them back?
Well, it's like 60 grand or something.
Yeah, but they did it all.
Yeah, no, but the problem is like, it's so obvious that it's someone who has influence, because otherwise why wouldn't you just say who it is? And the problem with that is that if someone's giving you money, it's like in politics, you don't have friends. People aren't like, here, have £58,000. They're doing it because like, here's 58 grand. Now I've got this building I need to put up.
And what a weird thing to do. It's just sort of like, you couldn't get that together, or I'm surprised he just didn't steal it from the public office.
Oh, well, I don't know what the fucking man does, but or
did he do that? And that's why he won't say.
No, I think the thing is that it was a donor, a Tory donor, who has given the money, but obviously in exchange for I don't know, an IOU and favors. Like, so
so did he pay it back when they discovered that someone else paid for it? And then he was like, I paid them back.
Yeah. He said he's paid it back, but he won't say who made the initial payment, and that's the problem. Because if there's nothing, if it's all above board, why can't you just say it? If he's like, my mum lent it to me, then why can't he just say that? It's because he's in the, like, clearly. Oh, and the best thing is that now they're having this investigation into it. But
by them,
Boris Johnson, no, Boris Johnson will decide if he has broken the rules.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's like an investigation by them, decided by them. Whether it's so dumb. It's so dumb. It's ridiculous.
God,
it's offensive. And the fact that people are just sat there allowing this to happen, but they're losing their shit over that stupid football.
Anyway, so that's one thing. The second thing is, so obviously after Grenfell, they've now assessed all the buildings in the country that still have this death cladding on it. Basically,
it's on schools, right?
Yeah, it's on so many buildings basically. Most of them are like residential tower blocks, and they obviously, this needs to be removed because you're literally.
You would have thought after that happened, they would have literally run round and just removed it from.
Why would you have thought that? Why would you have thought that? Of course they weren't going to do it. So
bastards.
They had a chance because to remove this cladding is going to cost each individual homeowner like thousands of pounds, possibly up into tens of thousands of pounds. So they didn't buy their houses knowing that this fucking death cladding was on it, and now they can't sell the houses because no one will buy a house that has death cladding, right? So their government has now, they had a chance to make the developers pay for it, to pay for the removal of the cladding. But what they've done is they've passed on the cost to leaseholders. So if you own a flat with this cladding on now, you are now liable to have it removed.
Can they not appeal? Because that's bollocks. No,
it's
law the developers did
through.
it.
It's a law. They passed it. It's law since last week, yo.
Wow.
And so now it's like, I was watching Question Time, and this poor woman, she's like, she'd saved all through her 20s. And you know, because she's like, I want to be a homeowner. That was your first mistake. But anyway, she'd saved all through her 20s, blah blah blah, got on the property ladder, and then to be told now she had to pay something like 60 grand to have this shit removed. And she's like, I can't, who else is fucking spend 60 grand lying around?
Boris to do his
well, no, to do apparently he doesn't. That's why
even he doesn't have it.
And I'm sorry, God. I know we shouldn't talk about people's appearances, but the wife or the girlfriend, the concubine, whatever she's called, Carrie Simmons, she does look like
the cum sack.
Praying donkey. She went to Godolphin. They were all very
well, I almost ended up there. The uniform was fun though.
The uniform
was like mine,
cute, but they obviously churn out sociopaths.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Godolphin is a bougie private school in West London, a girls' school. But so yeah, that's what the Tories have been doing. I don't know. I don't know how much. I don't know if I can even do this once a fortnight. I think this might have to be a monthly round.
It might have to be a monthly thing and just bundle them all up together, because I can just see the rage and you look so upset. And it's not about that. Feral Friends is about spreading love and joy. But you know what?
It's also about spreading hatred to Tories. But anyway.
Yeah, we've also got to let people know what's actually happening. So it needs to be done. It's a necessary evil.
Yeah.
There you go.
Or maybe we just do like a side thing where I just shout at the time for 10 minutes. Like,
ranting. Because it's... And we just mute it down for that bit and then just put subtitles. That will be fine.
Yeah. All right, well, because because it's bad for my mental health, which leads into the main topic this week.
That was so slick.
Oh my god! This week we're talking about health, darling.
Health, darling.
Do you think that you are healthy?
Do you know what?
If you went to like a Bupa health checkup, do you think they'd be like, ting?
It's a weird one, because I think I've been lucky in the fact that my body doesn't behave in a normal way. So I've got away with a lot. My health should be in a far worse state. But I realized, just without even thinking about it, subconsciously, whether it's with exercise or anything like that, I don't usually do exercise, but I walk a lot, or I used to go out and dance a lot and things like that. It makes a difference. So
I didn't. If you've had like 15 drinks.
5.
15 drinks.
I sweated them off. I sweated them out because I'm a sweaty bit. So it's fine. No, but it was just like walking a lot and just doing different things. When I'm active, I'm active. When I'm sedentary, I'm very, very sedentary. So it's a case of sedentary.
Is it sedentary? No, it's sedentary.
Yeah. I don't know.
Sedentary.
That word.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Sitting down.
Where you sit down a lot.
I'm sitting down. But it's a case of I feel like I can eat a lot of crap, but then I will balance it out with good food. I can be active, less so now because I haven't been moving around as much, because we've obviously been enclosed and restricted. So I've noticed a difference in my body in the way I have been. What about you? Would you say you're a healthy person? Do you think I'm a healthy person?
I think that you are lying to yourself a little bit.
I
think that you are definitely healthier than me. I consider myself to be unhealthy. I don't consider myself to be unhealthy. I am unhealthy. I have high blood pressure. I am overweight.
I've got guns.
I'm unhealthy. And all of my weight as well is in the like heart attack zone for men, like around the waist.
Okay.
So no, I don't think I'm healthy.
No. But do you do healthy activities every now and again? That's a hard no, but tweeting, tumbleweed.
I have spurts of, the thing is, we're going to talk about this a bit because my health is tied into mental health as well, right? But no, I don't think I'm healthy. Like, you know, when I go and visit friends here, the word lift in Berlin in a residential block doesn't exist. Really? Unless it's like a new build. No, they want you to, man,
everywhere had a lift.
No, I mean, if you live in a newer building, then
your building doesn't.
No, but when I go to my friends' houses who live on like the top floor, I'm puffed by the time I get to the top.
Yeah, I was
and I'm 40 and I shouldn't be like you know, I'm an occasional smoker, which isn't particularly...
I do smoke and I thoroughly enjoy it. Not that much, but enough to make a difference. But
I don't think I'm healthy. I don't think I'm healthy.
I wouldn't say I'm healthy, like a healthy, active person, but I don't think I'm super unhealthy.
No. I mean, but anyone's healthier than me, so don't get too excited. Okay. I'm not a good like benchmark to compare yourself to. Do you know what I mean?
So you mentioned this before. So do you think that when you're sort of your mental health is good, you're more active and you're physically healthier?
100%. I think mental health. I think when you suffer with your mental health, you realize how linked the two are, physical and mental health. Because if you are feeling shit in your head, I know that I have depression, right? And the thing that really helps with depression is exercise, physical exercise. There's unfortunately, because I fucking hate admitting it, the link is undeniable, right? But when you're depressed, finding the will and to do that exercise is the hardest thing in the world. Like having a shower is the hardest thing in the world. So it's like it's a catch-22 because, you know, I want to exercise because I understand that's going to make me feel better, but even getting to do the exercise is sometimes I just can't do it sometimes.
Do you think it makes a difference because the type of exercise that you do, because you know how loads of people are into this bloody CrossFit and people love yoga,
I think it's
running,
just about,
whatever.
Well, I think it's about whatever is good for you. You just need to move your body and work up a sweat. However you do that, just to get the endorphins and the serotonin. Like it could be whatever, you know, it can be playing sports, team sports, gross.
Yeah, because I was going to say, what kind of sports and activities do you like? That healthy activities do you like to do? Like none.
I don't. I genuinely don't. I don't want to be a part of a team. I don't want people passing balls to me. Like, no, I'm a solitary. Like that's why when I do work out, I just like to like do weights or whatever, something you can do by yourself. I don't want to be like together.
What if it was like a dance class or something?
Yeah, I would, but then obviously, you know, you don't have a choice. I'd prefer to have solo dance lessons. I don't like people. And I don't like being around them unless they have passed my various tests of being worthy
allowed around John.
So I just but yeah, no, I mean we're gonna get onto that. But I guess I suppose the biggest health thing right now is COVID, obviously.
Right. Oh my God. So it's really weird with this whole situation because I noticed it was during the whole kickoff with the pandemic and seeing on Facebook, yes, still use it, just seeing people posting. I know.
Me too. I'm right.
Hey, boomer.
I'm a millennial boomer.
Whatever. So I just noticed that people were posting things and about the vaccine and just people that I thought I knew were a little bit special, but suddenly some of the things that they were posting is like, are you mad? Yeah. Like questioning whether or not with the vaccine. And I get it, especially within Black community. Yeah. Because I will tell you about some examples of things that have happened with medical professionals. And then there was that whole thing where it's like, oh, let's go and test this on the Black community in certain countries. It's like, we don't have a problem here. You're the ones with the problem. Test it on your own people. And those two French doctors that were caught on tape saying those awful things and just like, yeah, we can go there and test whatever you like, blah, blah, blah. And it was like, wow, that's scary. So I understand, especially within the Black community, why there are a lot of people who are very suspicious and cautious about things. But I think in this instance, it's a case of I am willing to risk it for a biscuit.
Of course, and also now, that's the thing is like this, they're not testing it on Black, like everybody. Listen, I'm not going to judge any Black person who doesn't want to take this vaccine. I would urge them strongly to take it, but I fully understand Black people's reticence at trusting the medical profession because history. However, I think, in this instance with this particular COVID vaccine or vaccines, they like, if there's no white people falling down dead. No. And if there were, then there'd be a big uproar. So that's how I know.
Well, you saw how they were with the blood clots.
I mean, do you know what I mean? And right, but
and they were like,
true. It's true.
There's a blood clot.
And that's how I know. I also know that with this vaccine, okay, I feel like we should preface this by saying my mother is a COVID anti-vaxxer. She's not an anti-vaxxer per se about everything else, but this vaccine, she is an anti-vaxxer. We have had like blazing rows, like hanging up the phone rows, like over this, because in every other thing to do with health and nutrition, I fully agree with her 100%.
Yeah, right? She's quite savvy when it comes to that.
All about this stuff, like, you know, as much as I hate to admit it, because sometimes you don't admit when your parents are right, but she is right. But with this,
so what's her reasoning for it? What's behind it?
She has issues with vaccines as a whole because of what's in them apart from the vaccine. Like, you know, they put heavy, I don't know, there's heavy metals or something like aluminium, all this shit. But it's like, first of all, there's metals in fish, there's metals in also the amount of crap I've put in my body and up my nose, and I'm still here. Like, I've spent time in Berghain toilets. So if anything, like, if you've been
you're
in
literally radioactive,
you have like nada to fear from this fucking vaccine, right?
Some of the places we've been, it's a case of like, I think we're gonna be fine.
We're all right. And the other thing is that her sources, because I'm like, all right, as much as I completely disagree with you, if you can show me some kind of evidence that this is this is based in fact, I will be open-minded. Then she sends me these like vaccine.org.com.biz pages with spelling mistakes, with like, it's clearly and then you Google the person who's written this and they've been discredited. And then you could say, okay, but you know, anybody who goes against what Big Pharma says, and I'm not trying to stick up for Big Pharma because they're corrupt as fuck, but in this case, these people have been discredited for a reason. And this vaccine has been produced for the world to get back to work. It is not in global capital's interest. I know, but it is not in the interest of global capital and the economies to have this shit carry on. They want people to be healthy, to go back to work, to make them money. Now, maybe it does have aluminium in it, whatever. That is the least of my fucking worries. Because you know what? I would rather take my chances with this vaccine than with the virus.
I feel that a lot of people are worried that they've cut corners, and that's what their issue is. Well, no, this is you can understand why they're saying it. They haven't, but this is what they're saying, and it's a case of.
But the thing is, then you present the evidence to people, and the reason why they haven't cut corners. All this should show us with this vaccine is that if there is enough fucking political will and money, you can they could have developed a vaccine for AIDS like that.
Yeah.
But because they didn't want to, because it wasn't affecting them, they didn't bother. But now it's affecting everybody, and the entire planet came to a standstill. We've got a vaccine in 10 months. So, and when you see how there were no steps cut, they ran things together. But there's the safety, it's fine. I can't. And it is, like you say, it's really, when you see people on Facebook mentioning no names, but I'll give you the backstage afterwards. I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
And the arguments are so, to my mind, flimsy. Like, I just like vaccines in the grand scheme of things in human health. Vaccines have been like the best thing we've come up with.
one of the best things we've done. But I feel like a lot of people who are at the moment saying, I'm not doing it, blah, 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 they will soon turn around and change their mind when they can't go on a holiday, when it affects their job, or there are places that they can't go to, which is kind of worrying, but I understand it's necessary to stop this continuing. So they're just sort of like, oh, we're just going to wait for the herd immunity and everyone with the vaccine, so then we'll be fine, which is really bloody selfish.
It's really selfish, because then that gives, you know, if not enough people are vaccinated, that gives it the virus time to mutate, like, or, you know, and then they have to come up with a new vaccine. Maybe the vaccine won't work anymore. And
just seeing what's happening in India right now,
how can you look at that and say,
so scary?
How can you
that in itself
look at that and say, no, I don't really like it?
Their bodies burning on pyres day and night, which is just sort of like, okay, do you know what? Take the goddamn vaccine.
I mean, here now, I think in Germany now, it's actually law that you have to vaccinate your child against measles, not against but against measles, because measles is like 18 times more infectious. Like, and fuck it, I wouldn't be sending my kid to school with an unvaccinated child. No, I'm sorry. And all this stuff about links to autism, this, that, like, look, I don't know enough. I don't know.
There's risks with everything, but it's so minor in comparison, and it depends. There are other factors involved. So,
yeah. But I mean, yeah, I like I said before, I would urge every Black person to take this. And I mean, I've seen lots of videos and kind of testimonies of like Black healthcare workers, especially in the US, where they've said like, look, I'm taking the vaccine. I was skeptical as well, but having done my research, blah, 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 and trying to encourage people, because ultimately it's Black people, if they catch COVID, we are at the most risk of dying.
Right.
Because
that in itself is an incentive to get
I want to do everything I can to stay away from white people in positions of power. End of story. And I definitely don't want to be in a hospital situation where I'm in pain and I can't advocate for myself. And no,
yeah, so well, you know what, it sounds really harsh, but I'll give you examples of where I have been in that situation. Terrifying. And I've seen it with friends. So for example, here in Spain, there was an incident, again with the tooth. So
do you know what I woke up? You've got too many fucking teeth.
I know, toothy. So I woke up, my face was swollen. I went to the doctors, they gave me some antibiotics, waited for the swelling to go down, told me to come back in a few days. So bearing in mind, I've got private healthcare here, so I'm not going just to anyone, and I'm paying the premium one. God, St. Vincent's. So I'm paying for the premium stuff. So it's like, you should have decent service. Also, you're vulnerable. You're a patient. You expect just to be treated. So I go, luckily my flatmate went with me. I go and I'm in there, and the doctor, I'm trying to converse with him with my swollen face, trying to talk to him in Spanish, explain. It's very clear what's going on. Tooth infected, you need to remove it, done. Basically he gave me the injections to numb my mouth, but he didn't do it in the right area. So normally you're just supposed to feel pressure. That's it.
Yeah.
I was literally crying, screaming in pain. He was on me, kneeling on the chair on top of me. I had to physically push him off me. And the two dental nurses who were there were just standing in the corner like this, looking awkward. And then obviously I'm crying, upset. They could hear me in reception screaming.
Yeah.
I'm crying, upset, and so can't even speak in Spanish. So I would start swearing at him in English. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? I told you to stop. You could see I was crying. And he was like, oh, I didn't know you were from London. And I'm like, what the fuck has that got to do with anything? And it was just, he was so dismissive. When I first walked in, he just looked at me and then wouldn't even make eye contact with me. And this is someone who's going to do something to you, operate on you. And it's just that kind of behavior. Another time I went to the doctor here and I used the public service. This was the first time I used public service. And basically I went to the doctor and I said, I've had a pain in my arm. Well, there was one time I fainted just in Gran Via. And so I went to the doctor just to check up, make sure everything's all right. And he's like, how do you feel now? And I was like, fine, clearly, because I made it here.
Yeah.
He didn't take my blood pressure. He was like, well, then you're fine then. I was like, do you want to take my blood pressure, anything? Nope. He was like, no, get out. So I went to the same doctor several times, and I said, I'm getting a pain in my arm, something's wrong, can we do some tests? He refused to do anything. Eventually he said, we'll do some urine blood tests. I was like, fine. And I was like, could it be something neurological? And he was like, possibly. It's like, do you want to do some tests about it? No. The only reason why he sent me for an MRI and for something else is when someone else was in the room, and I'd come back several times. Then they realized one of my discs in my spine was gone, and they were like, you should be in excruciating pain. Funny thing was, after that situation, pain ceased, but they were like, this is awful, you should be on medication. Luckily, I'm fine now, but it was just his being so dismissive and so rude. I had another friend, person of color, Black woman, she went to the dentist. They literally ripped out her tooth. Again, same thing, stitched her gum to her cheek. Yeah, it was messed up. And it was just butchered. They wouldn't give her a tooth because there was so much flesh on it. It was insane. And it's just the abuse. And so this is why I am wary when I go to doctors or any medical professionals here. Now I have an amazing dentist. He's incredible.
Yeah, mine too. Just really good.
Yeah, and it's just like, I'm paying for a service, and I refuse to use that
service or not. It doesn't matter.
You're a medical professional. You should be caring. But this is the problem. They do this all the time. It's like,
well, they think, you know, they still, you know, are
we have a higher pain threshold,
right?
Or you're making a fuss,
or being aggressive, or
being
looking
too loud
for drugs. I saw a video basically of this young guy in the States, a Black guy. He's like 20 years old. He's having a massive panic attack, and he filmed. There's doctors at the end of his bed. She's like, "Are you having a panic attack, or are you just here to find drugs?" Because he's a young Black guy.
Wow.
Right,
it's horrible.
So imagine that, like, you know, you're at your most vulnerable, and then you have to think on top of that, like, am I going to get the care that I need? Like,
this is why I was freaking out with the whole pandemic, because I was just sort of like, I don't want certain people around me because you're more exposed, and if I have to go to hospital, are they going to treat me properly? Am I going to get the care I need?
I mean, look, what are the figures? Black women are 4 times more likely in the UK to die in childbirth than white women.
It's unbelievable. And the stories you hear, it's like even Serena Williams, who knows her body as an athlete, when she told them, and it was because her husband was insisting, and then she almost died, and she's getting premium care. And it's like, this is disgusting. I mean, so why? And they do this all the time. And it's just like, as medical work, as care, like caregivers, workers, how can you be in this position and treat people in that way? It's disgusting. But I fear every single time I have to go to the doctor. It's just that even for the smallest things, I'd rather put stuff off than actually go. And it's horrible. Whereas I see friends who don't even think about it, and they're just like hypochondriacs, and it's like, oh, a little sniffle, I'm just going to go and do this. And it's like, for me, I'd rather not until it gets to the ridiculous point, which is terrible.
It is
terrible. It's horrible.
But this is a reality for like Black people all around the world. I've been fairly, and I mean, probably my situation is different, maybe because I'm a man, but I have been pretty fortunate in my dealings with, I haven't really had to go to the doctor very much here. And when I have, I've been like treated well. So, but it's still there. It's still in the back of, you know, of your mind.
Well, that's also part of the reason why I would be scared to have kids, because it's just like, you're so vulnerable, and then you're bringing another life into the world, and you can't trust these bastards. That's why they keep on saying, have a doula, but there's only so much they can do. And if they decide to boot them out of the room, you're on your own.
They can't,
and especially now. Well, in this situation, like, with COVID and everything, you're like, people who had to go through stuff now during this period, I can't. No one's had a baby during COVID, sure. But I just couldn't even begin to comprehend that. I wouldn't do it. Don't trust them. I'm not going to risk it.
Have you ever had any operations?
I had when I did my gymnastic days.
I thought you were going to say vaginal rejuvenation.
Hey, I kegel. Fuck you.
I'm doing mine right now.
I know. As soon as you say kegel, I start clenching. I'm just like,
I feel like anytime anyone says that word, it's like You just started doing
right
that.
Totally doing it. But I had my
wait, sorry, hold on. When you say gymnastics, do you mean that you got your bag a 6 badge, which was do a teddy bear roll and a forward roll?
Fuck off. No, I actually did a flip off a box. Like I did a run jump flip off a box and then landed. But I my hand placed in a weird way. And so I dislocated so it was sticking out like that. Shut up. It was like that. It was like that. But it was sticking out at a weird angle. So I had to go and
maybe that's what your thing was in Berlin when you had that weird lump in your wrist. Maybe it was like a recurrence of that.
Maybe.
No, oh my God, I've just diagnosed you.
Oh my God.
This week on Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, it wasn't that. But so I've had that.
Did they put you under? Did you get good drugs?
No, they didn't put me under because they just numbed my hand and then yanked it back, and I was just flicking at it, and they were like, "Don't do that; it's going to wear off." So I had that. I had a root canal.
No, I mean, obviously that's an operation, but I'm talking about.
I had a lump
below the neck.
I had a lump removed from under my chin.
Oh yeah, your friend.
Yeah, my twin. I had her removed. Cut it
Why was it a woman?
Why not? Well, I am female.
I am female. Women can have deep voices too, Alphaba.
Hello. The amount of times I got called sir today on the phone, every single time.
That's so
all
weird,
day, every day. Everyone thinks I'm a man on the phone.
How could they think that?
They either get really turned on or they just think I'm a dude.
Or both.
Yeah.
Or they get turned on because they think you're
pretty much. But yeah, so that one, I don't think I've had any like proper surgery.
Touch wood.
Yeah,
me neither.
Thank goodness.
No,
nothing.
No,
have you ever broken anything?
No, I feel like I'm going to jinx myself. No, I know.
You literally.
I think the most I've ever had anything done. I'm trying to think. I had a tooth removed once because my mouth is overcrowded. Because I was going to get braces, but then I've got one less tooth on the bottom than thing. And the first time I ran away from the dentist because I was really scared of the injection, and I ran out in the street and nearly got run over. So I had to go back the next week. But no, I've been hospitalized, but I've never needed an operation. Thankfully.
I'm sorry, it's not funny.
Is my hospitalization amusing?
Because I just imagine for a ridiculous.
Did you even come? Oh, I was only in hospital for one night. Do you remember when I had that liver thing before Carnival? And I had to go to St Mary's. My wee was like, it was like treacle. It was like iron brew.
Oh my God!
And they called me out of college and were like, "You need to go to A&E right now." It's so dramatic.
Oh wow.
So I had to get the bus, but I felt fine by that point. But I had a liver infection.
Nothing that
they kept me in overnight, and it was just before Carnival, and all I could care about. And they were like, "Okay, don't do this, don't do that." And I was like, "Can I still go to Carnival? Can I still go to Carnival? Shut up." Yeah. So no, luckily, I haven't needed to.
Yeah.
No, talking about this, it makes me feel like I'm tempting fate. Like,
do you have a therapist?
I do have a therapist.
Okay, I want one. I think that everyone should have a therapist. I think it would be great.
100%. Like every child. I mean, I know that in some schools now they're starting to do like mindfulness and meditation as a to teach kids about that. Which I mean, in my
I feel like that's separate. That's one thing.
It's separate, but it's also just learning to be like aware of your thoughts and about being aware of your state of mind, about how your body feels, your general, like, you know, which is all kind of tied in to mental health. But if I had one wish for the world, apart from me being incredibly rich, it would be
therapy for everyone.
It would be therapy for everyone. Because even if you don't think you need therapy, people that don't think they need it are the people that need therapy the most.
But also, even if you're feeling great, it's just sort of like, you know, learning how to maintain that.
I mean, yeah, but it's also good to just be able to just talk about yourself non-stop for an hour.
I know, right?
And
which is also kind of fun.
I mean, look, it depends very much on the therapist. I have seen many therapists in my life, and I can say that only now with this new, his name is Anthony.
Hey, Anthony.
He is the first therapist where I'm like, oh, okay, this is right. He's also black, he's also gay. I sought out a black gay therapist on, you know,
well, it kind of makes sense because they'll be able to rate,
you know?
They'll be able to relate, and they won't second guess, and they'll be like, what do you mean by
exactly
that? And then you have to explain and waste your time, which is costing you doing that. So.
But I think I mean, we're talking about physical health, but I think mental health in a way is even more important because
absolutely, it's
like
a very important thing.
If you don't have mental health, often it's really hard to take care
you
of your
can't do the
health,
other,
right?
Well, I feel like after this whole situation with the COVID situation, after coming out of it, well, the way we did in Madrid, a lot of people were scarred by it.
Oh my
God, and
100%.
a lot of people have been damaged by it. They don't even realize what's really, they haven't fully comprehended what's taken place.
Of course.
And so I've noticed differences in people. And I feel you can see that people are still dealing with it.
Yeah.
And there's anxiety and different things. It comes out in different ways. And I feel like it should be offered en masse after something so epic.
But the thing is that so many, even me, like so many people, like I started seeing because last year was really, really hard for me. It was like a dark soul of the night. That's when I realized that I had depression, you know, or I was diagnosed basically within 2 minutes of talking to Anthony. He was like, "You've got depression." It's the first therapist to ever tell me that, and then realizing that I've had depressive episodes throughout my life. Blah blah blah. Anyway, I've lost my train of thought. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, so basically he was saying that so many people don't realize the effect that this last year has had on our mental health, especially for people like us who are used to traveling often, who have an active social life. That suddenly being taken away is really damaging to your mental health. And I felt like such a rich white lady, like, oh, I can't go to the Algarve. But the reality is that going away frequently, traveling to places, being outside, is part of my life, right? And that is just a fact. So there's no,
but it's good for everyone. If everyone could travel and do that, it would make the world a better place, I think.
Of course, but there'd be no fucking Vox then or whatever, right? But you have to first of all, you have to acknowledge the fact that, oh, this is why I feel like this. And then you have to allow yourself to feel bad about it. Because I was like, how can I feel bad about the fact that I can't go to Paris when there are fucking starving people in the world and there's war and rape and all this shit? But
it doesn't detract from the fact that you feel bad about that, but you're allowed to feel bad about yourself.
But that's
everyone has different degrees of sadness, and it doesn't take away or denigrate that. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, but I mean, that's something that is, I guess, a part of my mental state, so that I find it very hard to do that. Because I don't feel, and this is all I'm in the process of unpacking all this stuff, but I just think that, I know that, mental, we see in the UK something like, what is it? The biggest killer of men aged between 18 to 24 is suicide.
Which is just awful.
Because men,
which is insane when you think about it.
Mostly can't, or they don't feel able to communicate their feelings because they have to be a man. They have to shut up and put up. It's weak, it's feminine if you admit that you have a problem, and there's that whole banter between lads. It's so fucking toxic. It's so fucking toxic. And if they don't kill themselves, they end up hurting other people, right? Either women or whoever. And it's just I just wish that people could really understand about mental health, right? Because if I break my arm, everyone's like, oh, you poor thing, da, 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 da. But
people find it difficult if they can't see it. They're like, you're not really disabled, or you're not. So people with hidden disabilities, I'm not saying mental illness is a disability, but it's a case of the comparison between the two, because there are people with disabilities that are not obvious, and they're just like, well, it's not real, or they don't get the same compassion or the same respect or the same sympathy, and that in itself is awful. And we have come a long way with people understanding mental health and even just acknowledging it, but we still got leaps and bounds to go. But I feel like we're moving in the right direction with it.
I think so, slowly. I think the only way that it gets better is there's not enough access to healthcare. I'm very fortunate and privileged that I'm in a position where I'm able to pay for therapy. But if I'm in Germany, for example, I really need to.
Can you get it on the National Health Service in Germany?
Ew. In Germany, yes, you can get it, but they make you jump through so many hoops. It's not a case of like, you ring this number and you go and speak to a therapist. It's like, if you're having a mental health crisis, the last thing you are going to want to do is go and like...
And it's not like it's something that you're like, sort of like, I'm just going to get it for shits and giggles. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, to make it so difficult seems really weird. This is why I have to say there's this organization which sort of I became aware of during the Black Lives Matter movement, when everything was kicking off with that. And it's called Black Minds Matter.
Yeah.
And they offer free mental health care to individuals,
because
which is amazing. And I'm sure has like helped so many people.
I mean, it does not. I'm not saying that, you know, you have to see a therapist of the same race or the same sexuality or whatever, but like, now I've done that, I see like, wow, okay, it does make a difference. There's just a shorthand, you know, you don't have to like explain things as much, and it's just better, basically. But yeah, mental health is, I don't know, if you don't, I just feel like if you don't have your mental health, you don't have anything. Like physical health, whatever, you can be a bit fat, you can have a limp, you can, I don't know, whatever, but you can work through it. But it's being, you know, the only people that understand it are people that have suffered with it too. It's just so debilitating. And then I think as well with mental health, on top of that, you have to battle with your own stigma around it, because we all still in some ways are primed to not think mental health is as important as physical health, you know,
when they go hand in hand. I think people, not necessarily now, more so.
No, but I think, you know, there's, you know, I felt embarrassed to say to people like, I'm depressed, I have depression, because I don't know, in my head, for, you know, not anymore. I mean, obviously, I'm telling the internet, but like,
I understand.
But it's like, you feel weak, and you feel like, how is it possible that I can't even find the energy or find the will to like have a shower? There were points last year where I didn't shower for like 2 weeks. I didn't brush my teeth, like didn't make my bed, I didn't wash, I didn't do washing up, like I just couldn't do it. And to not even be able to do basic shit like that for yourself, you just feel like, so I felt just like such a loser. Why can't I do this, you know? But your brain gets sick sometimes, just like you get a cold, you know. It's the same, it's the same shit. So once you let go of the stigma of your own, or of my own stigma around it, it's a lot easier, you know.
Right. But it's a process.
Yeah, but we just have to talk about mental health. That's it.
Yeah,
that's the only way, you know. But yeah, so I feel very, I mean, I'm on my journey. I've got drugs. And yeah, but it's like, you know, it's a I'll be fighting this battle against the evil worm named Donald, who lives in my head. That's what I called him, Donald.
Oh God.
For the rest of my life. But you know, you just have to, you know, there are techniques, you meditation, and exercise is really important, physical exercise. Eating right.
Eating right. I feel like it's a balance with that one. Delicious things. I feel like it's a balance with that one. Obviously, you eat well, but you can always treat yourself. I don't feel like you have to go to an extreme. Otherwise, what's the point?
Treat isn't really in my
never gonna have butter and sexy cream again. Get out.
But that's the thing. It's not even about that. But it's like, you know, like cooking for yourself.
Oh well, you're just gonna make it fun.
Cooking is not fun.
It is. You get to eat whilst you cook, and then you get to eat all of it afterwards, and you can make as much as you want.
Food.
Well, it depends on what you're making. But it's a case of, if you are cooking, you can make as much of it as you want, especially if you're making something that you love. I mean, and you don't have to share if you make it yourself.
I'd just still rather be cooked for, basically.
Who doesn't love to be cooked for? But, you know, there's a reward at the end.
Everything in life is so hard.
Oh my God. You definitely get pre-chopped vegetables.
No, I don't. I chop my own vegetables. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I have sharp knives. I also have a mandolin.
Oh, you do?
It's still in the plastic in the cupboard. But I have one.
It's there. It will be used.
Intention. What is it? Buying stuff is the first step on the road to deeds.
Or dead.
Yeah. Do you think that people who abuse their bodies via smoking, for example, via alcohol, via being fat, do you think that if the damage you have inflicted on yourself is self-inflicted, that doesn't make sense, do you think that if the damage you've done to your body is self-inflicted, do you think that you should have to pay like a supplement when you go to hospital?
It's a weird one because I know you're just gonna be like, no, it's not the same. But for me, it's a case of, yeah, I do smoke. I don't drink excessively. Well, I have moments. But it's like, I'm active, blah, blah, blah. So I feel like it's all about life balance and it's about choice. Obviously, if I'm smoking 20 cigarettes a day, I'm definitely creating a problem for myself.
Yeah.
But if I'm having like 2 or 3 a day, that's not really a big deal.
How do you know?
It? Because I'm living it. So shut up.
No, rewind.
Okay.
Because I'm living it.
Oh my God, leave me alone. Okay, look, so anyways, as I was saying, what about people who, for example, marathon runners, go out, do that shit, fuck themselves up, people who climb mountains, get caught, and then you've got to send out search and rescue.
Do you know what, right? I watched that film Everest the other day.
I'm not risking anyone's life.
Have you seen Everest?
Which, no.
It's called Everest. It's about Mount Everest. It's about these people. It's a true story of these, like, the first, or like these teams of people that the first like commercial climbing trips to Mount Everest, right? And it went
no wrong, one right? Thinks about the Sherpas.
Wait, but it's like, I just sat there watching the film going like, but you chose to do this.
Exactly, you're on your own, bud.
And it starts off by going like, any meterage above 5,000 meters, your body is literally dying minute by minute. And I'm like, so why did you choose to do that then? And so, yes, I think that, I mean, look, I think if you smoke 2 or 3 cigarettes a day, if you climb Mount Everest, if you...
if I smoke 2 or 3 cigarettes a day, it's the equivalent of me just being dumb and climbing Mount Everest. Well,
no, but I think if you smoke 2 or 3 cigarettes a day and then you get lung cancer, you should have to pay for the treatment, or you should have to contribute to the treatment.
I should have to contribute to the treatment, but not fully.
No.
But it's like, also, I'm paying my taxes and whatnot and all of that. So I'm contributing to the system. And if I haven't used the system because I'm not, for example, I'm not doing other ridiculous things and hurting myself and whatnot, then why should I'm not using the system on a regular basis. So the one time I do actually want to use it and get my money's worth.
No, but you chose to smoke those cigarettes.
Yeah, like but I haven't used it for anything else. Have I gone to have babies for free? No,
it doesn't matter.
Have I?
If you are doing something, I
could get lung cancer from people driving cars around me.
I don't care. I think that if you are a smoker, you should have to pay like a yearly supplement to the health service, whether or not it's your.
I'm not mad at that idea. I'm not mad at that. That would put a lot
of people off smoking. I think if you.
Well, then what about people who are obese?
Okay. I also.
So what happens with that?
The thing is with obesity, it's slightly different because obesity can be linked to trauma. I'm not saying all of it is, right, but a lot of people are massively overweight because of trauma.
From trauma?
And in that case, from trauma, and that's that's their job.
What do you mean by that? What about people who just love a fucking cheeseburger?
Yeah, then those people cough up. I see you with your $1.99 going to get your Happy Meal. You can put
literally, and it's not just a Happy Meal; it's several. Come on now,
it's a joyous meal. It's not a Happy Meal. It's like, look, but then it's always just like, I'll have 17 Big Macs, 15 fries, 17
and a Diet Coke. Oh, and don't forget the salad.
Don't forget Diet Coke. Watching my way. Look, right. I understand.
They don't have to pay a
supplement. Listen to me. If I get type 2 diabetes,
that's your business.
Should have to pay for that, because I know if I get type 2 diabetes, it's because I'm a fat bastard that sat on my ass pouring sugar down my neck. Right? Why should the taxpayer? Also, I don't pay tax in the UK. Why should the taxpayer have to stump up for my gluttony, right? But that's me. I'm saying if you were abused as a child, if you were beaten every day of your life and you turn to food as your way out, that's a different thing. But someone like me,
how often does that occur? I'm sure it does happen.
A lot.
But then it could also be there are a lot of people who are grossly overweight, and it's various other factors, whether because they're like can't be asked to cook, or it's because they can't afford. They can't afford to buy.
I'm not trying to say
exactly. So most of them are lazy. But then there's the ones who can't afford to buy healthy food, because now you're being penalized for buying fresh produce, and it's cheaper to buy frozen crappy shit
and more delicious.
And but yeah, so there are all these different elements. So how do you start drawing the lines and working it out? That's the thing.
I think they should just do it by level of attractiveness. Like if you're fat, but you're cute,
a hot fatty fat?
If you're a hot fatty boom boom, then it's okay. Otherwise, I would be okay. But no, no, obviously not. But I mean, look, I don't know. I just look at the especially in the UK, right, where like what is it, a third of children or something are like clinically obese, right? Obviously, I'm not saying that's not the kids' fault, because that's on the parents.
I think the parents should be penalized for it.
Do you feel like I feel like a public lashing maybe?
No, they have to pay for it. Sorry, just spat.
You sure you're not up for public whipping? Flogging? No. Okay.
That's only indoors. What you do indoors. But no, I
saw a picture of the Shibari thing the other day. I thought of you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
I only
like
I didn't
a bloody
realize
turkey.
How it's spelt like not the way that I was expecting it to be spelt. Anyway,
obviously. But what about then we could say, okay, so people who end up with liver disease, alcoholics, you're gonna and drug addicts. Then what do we do?
No, but then again,
because nicotine is one of the most addictive things, and then you've got drug addicts. So you're gonna penalize them because whatever triggered it, and then they keep on going back. Alcoholics as well.
Cigarettes are different because I'm sorry, if you
I know someone who gave up so many drugs, and the only thing they couldn't give up was the tobacco, the nicotine. That's the hardest thing, and they couldn't do it.
Okay, they get a pass. They get a special Simon Cowell's golden ticket when they come to the thing.
Oh my God.
A&E, short of breath. I don't know. I mean, look, I understand this is like a knee-jerk reactionary thing to say, but they got to do something, because like this.
Well, I think it comes back to education, because there are a lot of people, a lot of parents who have kids and they don't cook for their kids. They don't have time. They can't be asked, or they don't have time, or they just don't know any better.
Yeah.
And so it's about educating, and then also within schools providing decent
dinners
meals
and shit. I mean, look at the food they give you when you're in a fucking hospital.
Oh my God. And it's like you purposely made that taste like filth.
And how does that happen? When you're in hospital, you are your most like ill and vulnerable. You need nutrition.
Delicious,
you need to build you up, right? You need like chicken noodle soup, right? And they're bringing you like a fucking thing of jelly and some like pile of doo-doo on a plate. Like,
absolute filth. But I don't understand how you can make food taste so bad.
It's awful.
It's not food. It's not food.
Listen, right? Because even airline food, I'm here for airline food.
You know what? I've had a good time.
Seriously, I like the fact that
I'm not mad at it.
Compartmentalized. It's neat. It appeals to my like weird nature to make.
It could be quite sexy.
It could be sexy if you.
And I'm just like, that just fills a hole.
Right. If you're on a good airline, I'm not talking about if you're on like a long haul flight and you're on a reputable good airline like BA or whatever, Virgin. The food is good. Also on Virgin, they used to give you free choc ices.
I know, I remember that. And then
you
know on BA they have espresso martinis now.
But you have to pay.
Yeah. You have to pay for food on short haul now. I know, it's so upsetting.
How
rudeness.
Rude. That is so fucking out of order. Like, and the thing is as well, it's an M&S sandwich, so it's like you do want it because you know it's going to be good. But
well, at least they were decent enough to get an M&S sandwich. Well, do you know what? I'm just going to buy it in the airport before I take it on with me.
Listen, British Airways,
out my purse.
But I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to do about the health situation.
Yeah, because if you're just going to penalize people, smokers, and it's an addiction for a lot of people. You see people smoking, you're like, you're not just smoking for shits and giggles, which is what I do. Weirdly enough, they can't go for a day or a week without a cigarette. In the same way that
I just feel like cigarette smokers are. I just feel like it's the easiest of all addictions to give up. Cigarettes.
Really,
it's not like giving up heroin. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. That's just what I think. I just think that cigarette smokers who fail to stop smoking cigarettes,
but because it's so prolific and all around you, obviously you can give it up. I know a lot of people who have given it up, but because it's so easily around you and the temptations that all the time. Whereas with drugs, it's a lot harder. You have to go incognito to go and do that. And if you're an alcoholic, it's like you can smoke at work and go be like, I'm going to have a cigarette break. You can't be like, I'm going to have a gin. Wow.
You don't
maybe.
You don't tell them you're going to have a gin. You just go and drink quietly in the toilet.
It's tea.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Please, like there aren't fucking people up.
Yeah, but it's a lot harder.
11 o'clock cup of tea and it's filled with fucking vodka.
But it's a lot harder to do, and you can smell it, and people will question it. Whereas if someone smells smoke on you, they're not going to say anything. True. I think it's a weird one. I do agree that there should be a point where we do have to pay compensation, but I don't feel like, because there are so many ways that I don't use facilities and other people take the piss. And so I'm just sort of like, but I'm going to be penalized.
No, but it's not. I just think everybody should be penalized, except me.
You just want everyone punished.
Yeah.
Such
a
psycho.
What? But you know what? I mean, you know, all that aside, I'm definitely happy that we live in this age of modern medicine. Because can you imagine? I feel like I would have been okay living in like ancient Egyptian times, because I feel like they had like
they were at least clean,
few, like, you know,
it's like Edwardian England, right? Which is what grosses me out. Victorian like, England with their wooden teeth.
William the Conqueror onwards, up until the modern day. I'm not trying, like, no. The health, like bubonic plague, like, and
the furthest back I'm going to is the 70s. That's it.
even then, because I think they only just like transplants were pretty new then. No, I'm happy now with modern medicine, like, right, you know, but I just, I can't imagine living in
it was pretty great.
When you see shows that they used and stuff to do on TV and you're like, ew, like just literally sawing off your leg with a fucking saw,
putting a piece of wood between your mouth, bite the bit.
When I see that on TV, I'm like, oh my god. And then I read this thing that, like, apparently in the Navy, obviously because in war and stuff, they were saying a good surgeon would be able to take a limb off in about 20 seconds. But that 20 seconds for the person
to saw through someone's limb.
You have to like go through the thing, cut the thing, then go around the bone, like.
Yeah, so they're not thinking about doing a pretty job.
They think the shit they used to.
So he's just using a machete and just like.
No, it's like a thing. You have to like sever all the muscles and the tendons, and then you have to go through the bone. You can't just. It's a skill.
Well, they used to,
but that's a bad surgeon.
Yeah.
Right. But you know, I was watching this program, just the shit that they used to do that ruined their health, like lead in makeup. You know, like,
I know
the whites, like Queen Elizabeth, they all had lead poisoning and went mad, and then they used to rub mercury on their hats to make it shine. That's where the expression "mad as a hatter" comes from, because mercury over time, the fumes send you loopy.
Oh my god, brilliant.
And you know, like shit, like when you see the stuff they used to tell people to take, like, man, it's just insane. It just goes to show that knowledge really is power. Because did you just fart?
No. What was wrong with you?
I'm hearing things.
Maybe you're just releasing gases on your own and surprising yourself.
My mouth is constantly just like expelling verbal diarrhea. I'm happy to live. I'm all for, like, I'm not going to say homeopathic medicines because they've been proven to be shit, but complementary things like supplements and natural remedies. I firmly believe that every disease on earth has a cure on earth for it in the natural world. Maybe we just haven't found it yet.
For sure. Well, there are a lot of people reverting back to natural remedies and
I mean, I definitely, you know, like like milk thistle or whatever for your liver. All of these things.
Loving the milk thistle. This is the one.
I'm looking at my shelf of like
best discovery. You know,
and the thing
ever.
is, they're discovering so much stuff. Like they've now discovering that mushrooms, people who eat disgusting. I
love mushrooms.
People who eat a lot of mushrooms have something like 40% less likely to get cancer or no, Alzheimer's. It's mental health. Yeah. They're discovering all this
amazing
shit now, right? Yeah.
And they're also using like mushrooms for mental
depression
health.
Exactly. Microdosing and stuff. Yeah, everything. I think every cure is there in the ground. Like I remember going to Kew Gardens with my mum like last year, no, a couple of years ago, and in one of the houses, and they had this. It's a tiny flower. It's like that big, right? It's called a Madagascan periwinkle. So pretty. And one of the thing I was like, what the fuck? How did they even begin to make the
connection? Work out. What does it do?
Basically, that is one of the main things that they have used to like synthesize to treat childhood leukemia. It has some compound. Yeah. They found out that something in this flower can be used to treat childhood or leukemia in general. I can't remember. But
that's amazing.
Like, how do you look? This thing is literally like this big, so cute. You're like, I want to put it in my hair. Yeah, amazing. The power of nature.
Lovely stuff. I did not know that. Learned something new.
Madagascan periwinkle. So just go and chew on some if you don't want leukemia. All right. Well, I feel healthy enough now. I think
okay. Well, it's time for feral facts. So I've actually got a few feral facts today because some of them are linked to health, whether it's mental health, physical health. I'm going to start off with something disgusting. So this is for us. Okay. So wearing headphones for just an hour will increase the bacteria in your ear by 700 times. So disgusting.
Wait,
so disgusting.
What? Is that in-ear headphones or these kind of over-ear headphones?
These ones.
So what about in-ear headphones?
Yeah, can you imagine what that's doing? I don't know. It's gross.
Why? Why
it's
does it increase the bacteria? I mean, listen, I clean my ears regularly, not every day because it's bad. But even when,
it's bad to have clean ears.
No, you're not supposed to clean your ears every day. You're supposed to clean them every day. The more you clean them, the more wax they produce.
No, but I'm not talking about right inside. No, but the
rest of them still. What, every other day? Listen, I saw it online.
I don't know how I feel about that.
But that's disgusting.
I thought you'd like it.
But is it like, are they good bacteria like Yakult, or is it bad bacteria?
No, it's just filth. It's just dirty filth. Gross. Okay, and then this one's a serious one. So you know how we were speaking before, they said there was a study that was done and it said Black infants have higher levels of cortisol, which is a key stress hormone indicator, than white infants, with experiences of discrimination contributing to the difference.
Yeah.
And that's infants.
Yeah, I mean, listen, like racism shortens your life, yes.
Well, they said higher exposure to racial discrimination accounted for over 50% of the race difference in health outcomes.
Wow,
which is nuts. Wow. It's horrible. Oh, this was a fun one though.
That's incredible. No, wait, hold on. I'm just like, but yeah, like cortisol is really bad for your body. Right, that's the
thing they give you a shot, a cortisol shot when you're like
steroids, like for asthma they give it to you as well. Like it strips the cells away, like does something. It's not great. It's not your friend, really. I mean, it is in small doses, but I didn't. That's blown my mind. Seriously,
it's pretty horrendous.
50% of.
Okay, so I'll repeat it again. So higher exposure to racial discrimination accounted for over 50% of the race difference in health outcomes. Okay. Does that make sense to you?
Kind of. Wait,
so usually the difference in the outcomes between races, 50% of that is due to the racial discrimination.
Okay.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so really,
the discrepancies
really
with that. So it's a big thing. So it takes a toll on you mentally and physically.
But then at least we don't, not at least, but then it doesn't take a toll on our skin or appearance.
Looking good, feeling great, health,
because
darling.
I see people all the time and I'm like, you're white people.
Ravaged.
And I'm like, you're older than me. Liz Truss.
Oh my God. No, I've seen
No, you're older than me, but like
they're younger than me or the same age, and I'm just like, what happened?
Liz Truss. Do you know who Liz Truss is?
Oh, the name's familiar, but I can't
we'll put a picture of her. This
Okay.
woman is, I think she's 45, but she, And the thing is that,
time hasn't been kind.
No, pain, like just. So well, I mean, maybe cortisol is really good for your skin.
Everyone's
so keep up the racism,
out.
Guys.
Everyone's stressing out. Like,
I want to be so racially abused. I start Benjamin buttoning.
We can make that happen. Okay. So this was an interesting one. on average, 12 newborns will be given to the wrong parents daily.
Worldwide or just in Spain?
No, not just in Spain. 12.
Do you know what? The thing is
that's
messed up, but it could also be a blessing in disguise if you got given to like a mega rich family.
And what about the poor bugger that was supposed to go there in the first place?
That's your business. Fate chose a different path for them.
You were meant to struggle through life so you can appreciate it.
Have you seen Big Business? Do you remember that film with Bette Midler? I love that film.
Oh God.
I mean, I personally think that parents shouldn't really have children unless they are incredibly wealthy. Because you should
only rich people should have children.
Kids.
What about all the brilliant people who haven't got money?
No, it's not fair to raise a child in abject poverty. Because
you are an ass.
When that child comes of age and sees the wonders of the world that are out there, but they can't afford it, resentment.
You're such a dickhead.
And
Sadie raised you better than that.
No, I know she did, and I would never want to have been swapped, but maybe just for a few years, just to get a trust fund, and then they realize that the swap has happened, and I go back to my mum, but I've got my
trust fund.
With the trust fund. Then I look after her. We just chill.
I feel like everyone should have a trust fund. I want one.
Yeah,
it's the right thing to do.
Me too. But this is what I mean. Poor people don't have trust funds.
No, they don't, but everyone should have a trust fund. It's like the, when they give everyone the universal thingy, everyone gets universal money. No, not universal adapter.
No, universal income.
Universal income. Everyone should be given a trust fund.
500 euros a month's not enough
No,
anymore.
not 500 euros a month.
A week.
Like you could be given, like when you turn 18, if you're given 20,000, you could do stuff with that. That would be great.
I think it should be 20,000 per year for 5 years.
That would be great.
From the 18 onwards.
18 to
25.
23, 25.
25.
Okay.
And then you're on, and then you can't get benefits after that, nothing.
Then you're on your own. If you fucked it up,
like
that's your business. That's not a bad idea.
That's really actually.
But no, you have to.
The world's
no, because you need to have like the National Health Service and all that bollocks.
Do we?
Yeah,
how
well,
about
it's
people
going
just
anyways.
stop getting? Well, I mean, exactly. They're selling it off as we speak.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what was it? They brought in the person that they brought in to advise them on some new health thing. Is the CEO of this company that they've just sold off a load of GP surgeries to.
Wow. Wow. Well, cortisol. Well, look, let's end on a high. A shrimp's heart is in its head.
Let's end on babies being given away to the wrong parents.
No, I just told you another one. A shrimp's heart is in its head. So you don't necessarily eat it.
No, but you suck out when you do that.
I don't. I still haven't got around that yet. I can just about look at a prawn poo. I can't eat it.
Do you know what? I don't, because ultimately it's not poo, it's sand.
What else?
I don't care.
I know what they did.
I just shut
like, I can't.
Prawns, big prawns. I love a fucking prawn. I don't care where it came
prawn
from.
Ring.
Back here, like, oh yeah, I love a prawn ring.
Prawn ring.
Big bush prawns. All right, well, let's leave it there.
All right, well, it's been great,
a pleasure as always.
And just remember, stay feral.
Oh my god, we're doing quite well. We're getting better at it. Okay, see you guys next week for more Feral Friends.
Bye.
Ciao.